The galaxy was vast and old. Stars burned quietly while empires rose and fell. Most civilizations believed the age of great wars was over. They were wrong. The Valari Alliance ruled hundreds of systems. They were proud and advanced. Their fleets once kept peace across space. Now those fleets were burning. A new enemy had arrived. It came without warning, without reason. They called it the Void Swarm. The swarm did not speak. It did not negotiate. It consumed worlds. Planets went dark one by one. Valari commanders watched battle screens in silence. Entire defense lines vanished in minutes. Weapons failed. Shields collapsed. Every strategy was tried. Nothing worked. Hope slowly faded. Inside the Grand Council chamber, alien leaders gathered in fear, different species, different voices, one shared terror, some demanded surrender. They believed the swarm could be reasoned with. Others argued to retreat deeper into space, to abandon outer systems. A few spoke of ancient weapons, long-forgotten machines, too dangerous to use. Arguments echoed through the chamber. Voices grew louder. Panic spread. Then a small delegate spoke, her voice shaking. Her species nearly extinct. There is one option left, she said. The room fell silent. She hesitated, knowing the fear tied to her words. Call the Deathworlders. Gasps filled the chamber. Some leaders shouted in anger. Others recoiled in fear. Humans. The name alone carried dark history. Humans came from a brutal world. High gravity, violent storms, deadly creatures. They evolved through war and survival, not peace, long ago. Humans tried to join the galactic community. They were judged, feared, and pushed away. Their weapons were called excessive, their tactics labeled savage, their mindset considered dangerous. The galaxy turned its back on them, and humans vanished into deep space. Now, in the moment of greatest need, someone suggested begging them for help. Many refused. They said humans would demand control, or worse, revenge, but the swarm did not wait for debates. Another system fell during the argument. Finally, the high speaker stood, his eyes tired, his voice heavy. "We are running out of time," he said. "If we do nothing, we all die." Silence returned. Slow and painful, the order was given. Prepare a distress signal, a plea for aid, not a demand. Not a command, a confession of failure. The message was simple. We are under attack. We are losing. We need help. The final line was the hardest to send. To humanity, the signal launched into the dark, crossing stars and empty space, carrying desperation with it. Many believed it would be ignored. Humans had no reason to answer. Far away, beyond mapped space, ancient human relays activated. Systems dormant for years awakened on a silent Terran command ship. Lights turned red. Alarms hummed softly. A human admiral stood before the display, reading the alien message. His face calm, unmoved. He remembered the past. The rejection, the isolation. He looked around the bridge, at crews ready for war. Waiting, after a long pause, he spoke, "Send confirmation. Wake the armada. Deepen the darkness." Human warships began to stir, and the galaxy was about to learn what it truly meant to ask Deathworlders for help. The Valari Alliance waited in silence after the distress call was sent. Nothing happened. Hours passed, then days. Fear turned into regret. Many leaders believed the humans ignored them. Some said it was deserved. They remembered how humanity was treated. Alien fleets continued to fall back. Worlds were evacuated in panic. Refugee ships crowded space lanes. The void swarm kept coming, unstoppable, endless. Council members whispered among themselves, "We should never have called them. They will not answer," on the outer edge of Valari space. Long-range sensors suddenly screamed, Technicians froze in confusion. Space began to distort, stars bent and stretched. Reality itself seemed to crack. At first, only one object appeared, a massive dark shape, silent and unmoving. Then another, and another, hundreds, thousands. An entire armada dropped out of hyperspace, human warships unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Thick armored hulls, weapons layered upon weapons. The alien crews stared in horror. Some believed an invasion had begun. Others could not speak at all. These ships were not decorated. No bright colors, no symbols of pride. They were built for survival, for war, for endurance. Velari defense fleets powered weapons. Hands shaking on controls, old fear rising again. A human signal cut through the chaos, clear, calm, unemotional. "This is Terran Command. We received your call." The council chamber erupted. Voices overlapped, panic and relief mixed together. A massive human flagship moved forward. Larger than alien capital ships, its presence heavy and commanding. A hologram formed in the chamber. A human admiral appeared, tall, scarred, eyes steady. He did not smile, he did not threaten. "You are under attack," he said. "We have reviewed the data." The aliens waited for demands. For anger, for judgment, none came. "We will assist," the admiral continued. "But understand this," the room held its breath. "When humanity goes to war, we finish it." Some aliens felt fear. Others felt hope for the first time in cycles. The void swarm arrived again, dark shapes flooding the edge of the system. Alien fleets began to scatter. Old habits of retreat taking over, human ships did not move. They held formation, silent and still. The admiral raised his hand slowly, watching the enemy approach. Alien commanders screamed warnings, begging the humans to retreat, still no movement. Then the admiral lowered his hand. "Begin," he said, human weapons ignited. Space filled with controlled fire, precise and devastating. Void swarm ships were cut apart, one after another, no wasted shots. The alien fleet stopped running, watching in disbelief for the first time. The swarm was pushed back. Human ships advanced without hesitation, protecting alien vessels. Shielding refugee convoys, the message was clear. Humanity was not here for revenge, they were here for war. And as the battlefield lit up the stars, the galaxy realized a terrible truth. The beings they once feared were now the only reason they still existed. The battle did not end after the first clash. It was only the beginning. The void swarm pulled back for a moment. Not in fear, but to adapt, alien commanders celebrated too early, believing the humans had already won. The human admiral corrected them. "This enemy learns," he said. "This war has just started." Human fleets spread across Velari space, moving with perfect coordination, each ship knowing its role. Where alien defenses were broken, humans rebuilt them. Where worlds were threatened, human ships stood in the way. The void swarm returned in greater numbers. Dark vessels forming massive waves, blocking out stars. Alien fleets hesitated, old fear returned. But human ships advanced without pause. Human tactics were different. They did not rush blindly. They controlled the battlefield, strike groups cut supply lines. Heavy ships absorbed punishment, smaller craft hunted relentlessly. The swarm attacked with numbers. With hunger, with endless bodies, humans answered with discipline. With patience, with precision, on one burning world. Alien civilians waited for death. Evacuation ships were too slow. Human drop fleets arrived first. They landed under fire. Building shield walls around cities, human soldiers moved through smoke and fire, guiding civilians to safety, carrying the wounded. Aliens watched in disbelief. These were the monsters they were warned about. In orbit, human ships took damage. Hull plates burned, engines failed, still. No retreat was ordered. The human admiral monitored every front. His voice steady across channels, offering calm in chaos. "We hold here. We push there. We do not break." The void swarm focused on the humans. Recognizing the true threat, living weapons slammed into Terran hulls. Organic claws tearing metal, human ships adapted quickly. Weapon frequencies changed, defenses shifted. Alien engineers struggled to keep up. Learning human systems in real time, slowly, a pattern emerged. The swarm was losing ships faster than before. Human fleets pressed the advantage, driving the enemy away from core systems. For the first time in the war, alien worlds had time to breathe. Council members watched battlefield feeds. Their fear turning into awe, humans did not celebrate small victories. They prepared for the next fight. The admiral addressed the council again. "The swarm has a center, a source. If we do not destroy it, this war will never end." The truth settled heavily. The final battle was coming, and humanity was already planning it. As the war continued, the alien races began to truly see the humans. Not as stories, not as monsters, but as they really were. Human crews worked without rest, repairing ships under fire, sharing supplies with alien fleets. They did not demand command, they did not claim glory. They focused only on survival. Alien officers were assigned to human ships. At first they were afraid, every movement felt dangerous. But they soon noticed something strange. Humans followed strict rules. Discipline held them together, they argued, they joked. They stood their ground when it mattered. A Valari engineer watched human mechanics work. Their hands moved fast, fixing broken systems with limited tools. "This is impossible," he whispered. A human replied calmly. "We do this at home." Aliens began to study Earth. Human history was filled with disaster. Floods, quakes, wars, their planet was cruel. It forced them to adapt or die. Deathworlders were not born violent. They were shaped by survival on the battlefield. Humans protected alien ships, even when retreat was safer. A damaged Valari cruiser drifted powerless. Void swarm vessels closing in, human destroyers moved in front of it. Taking hits meant for the aliens. "Why would you do this?" an alien captain asked. A human answered simply, "No one gets left behind." That sentence spread through the fleets. Becoming a quiet promise, the Void Swarm responded with fury. Launching its largest assault yet, a massive living structure appeared. The hive core, it pulsed with dark energy. Controlling the swarm across systems, human analysts confirmed the truth. Destroy the core, and the war. But the cost was high. The core was protected by layers of living armor, and deadly energy fields. Only a direct assault could reach it. Human command gathered in silence. Calculations were made, losses estimated. The alien council listened, fear tightening their voices. This plan required sacrifice. Human ships would not return. The human admiral spoke without pride. "We will do what must be done." The aliens finally understood. Humanity did not fight because it loved war. It fought because it refused to surrender others to it. The final battle began in silence. Human fleets moved toward the hive core, formations tight and unbroken. The Void Swarm sensed the threat. It gathered everything it had. Dark ships filled the space around the core. Alien fleets wanted to follow, but human command refused. "This is our task," the admiral said. Human ships advanced into the storm, weapons firing nonstop. Hull plates melting, one by one, Terran vessels fell. But the formation never broke. Strike ships punched through defenses. Carving a path forward, the hive core reacted violently. Energy waves tore through space, crushing anything too close. Human pilots did not turn away. They pushed harder. A final group reached the core, damaged, burning, out of options. The admiral gave the last order: detonate. A blinding light consumed the battlefield. The hive core shattered, its scream echoing across space. Then everything went still. The void swarm ships froze, lost coordination, and died. Across the galaxy, worlds were saved. Alien fleets returned to the battlefield, finding wreckage and silence. Few human ships remained, scarred but standing. The council gathered again, this time in gratitude, not fear. A message was sent across all systems, telling the truth of the war. Humans were not monsters, they were guardians. A monument was built in deep space. Simple and unbreakable, it carried only one message. When the galaxy begged, humanity answered, from that day forward. No race ever dismissed humans again. Their name became a promise. That even in the darkest hour someone would stand,